and good morning to all my lovely students out there. I welcome you all for today's English class. Students, I hope each and every one of you is doing good, right? All right, in our last class, we have started lesson number 13 from our textbook part 2, and the name of the lesson was the Herculean Task. So, we have seen all the new words used in this text. We know its meaning, and also we have discussed on some of the qualities which a hero or a heroine should possess, right? And in today's class we will try to understand the lesson. Before going to read and understand the lesson, let us all recall back the new or difficult words which we have come across in this lesson. The first new word in this lesson, which we have learned in our previous class, was adventure, right? What is adventure? It means a dangerous yet very enjoyable activity. Courage. The next word was courage. Courage means it is one's ability to control one's fear and be brave. So, whenever you talk about the word courage, you should know that it is your ability to control your own fear and be brave. The next word was Garden of the Hesperides. So, what is it? It is a mythological garden where golden apples grow. Okay, so it is a mythical garden where golden apples grow. It may or may not be true, but it's used in some of the folk tales and fairy tales. Word number 4 was pursuit. Pursuit means an attempt to achieve something, which is your try or an attempt to achieve something. The next word was nymph. Nymph. So, what is nymph? It is a female spirit that lives in rivers, mountains, or forests. A female spirit that resides in rivers, mountains, or forests, basically used in folk tales and fairy tales. Word number 6 was navigator. What is the meaning of navigator? Someone who gives directions of travel, right? A navigator is a person who gives correct directions of travel. Word number 7 was startled. So, what is the meaning of startled? To be very shocked or surprised, right? And word number 8 was short tempered. What is short tempered? Means quick to get angry. I'm sure many of you have come across people who are very short tempered, no? They are very easily angry. They get angry very easily. So, this kind of people are called as short tempered people. Word number 9 was mythology. Mythology. What is the meaning of mythology? A rich collection of traditional tales from a particular culture. So, mythology means what? It is a rich collection of traditional tales or stories from a particular culture. And word number 10 was fainted. Fainted means to fall down and become unconscious. Okay, so all right, students, so by now you have recalled all the new words which we have learned in our previous class. So it's easier for us to understand the story now because we know all the difficult words. So if you have the textbook with you, please kindly take out page number 27 of your English textbook part 2. So, as we have discussed in our previous class, the qualities which a hero or a heroine should possess, right, class? And we have come across various qualities, and in one of those qualities which came out prominently was courage, right? The courage and the determination which one should possess in order to become a hero or a heroine. So, this story is basically about the hero of Rome, called as Hercules, who was very, very famous for his strength and his love for adventure. So, why was he famous? He was famous for his strength, for his courage, and his love for adventure. So let's read the story, students, and try to understand it. King Eurystheus was afraid. Hercules had proven his courage and strength by completing the 10 previous difficult tasks that had been given to him. He was becoming popular. People had started calling him a hero. So Hercules lived in Greece, right? And there was a particular king named Eurystheus, okay? And this king was really worried. Why? Because Hercules was being liked by people because of his courage. Right? What is courage? It is one's ability to overcome fear, be brave, right? So he was being liked by every other people in the town and in his place. So this made the king was quite afraid. He was thinking that Hercules might one day capture his throne. So he was thinking of various tasks and tricks which he wanted to implement on Hercules, and he wanted him to come out as failure so that the people might be calling him as king and they would be respecting him more, because so far Hercules was being liked by every other person in his kingdom and they regarded him as his hero. The next task must be even more dangerous and challenging. Thought the king, it is important that he loses so that the countrymen can see me as their hero again. So the king had already given him 10 tasks, and in all the previous 10 tasks, Hercules came out successful. So he thought that this time I should give him much more difficult tasks so that he loses, and then every other person in my country would think that he's a loser and will look up to me as a hero again. King Eurystheus called Hercules to his court and congratulated him. He set him the challenge of getting golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. So what did he do? He summoned his soldiers to call Hercules. And when Hercules came, he said that, Hercules, I want to congratulate you. Every other person in my kingdom thinks that you are a hero, and I think that you are a hero. But then I have a challenge for you. You are getting one more challenge, and I know you will come out successful. He just pretended, no? And he said that, go to the garden of the Hesperides and get me some golden apples. All right. Okay. Now let's see what will happen. Will Hercules listen to the king and obey his command, or will he be able to get the golden apples or not? Hercules set out in pursuit of this new challenge, and on the way he met a beautiful nymph. So, as Hercules went by, what happened? He, without a thought, he said okay to the king, and then he set out for his voyage, for his journey. In pursuit means in search of the golden apples. He didn't know where to get the golden apples, so he went, and as he went along, he met a very beautiful nymph. Remember, class, I've told you what is nymph? Yes, a female spirit that resides in river, mountains, or forests, right? So he asked her for help. She told him to seek the old man of the sea, who was the best navigator. Now, what happened? Hercules asked this nymph, can you help me out to find the golden apples? Then the nymph said that she was very beautiful and she was helpful at the same time. She said that I will not be able to tell you where you would be getting the golden apples, but the person who can help you is the old man of the sea. And why can he help you? What is the reason behind that? Because he is the best navigator. A person, navigator is what? It's a person who can give direction, right? So, but there is one condition. You need to hold him tight. It is difficult to maintain a grip on him. He can change forms, warned the nymph. But the nymph said that there's one condition, you know, Hercules. Why? Because as soon as you find the man, you have to hold him tight. Why is that so? Because he can change his form and size. He can change, all right. And then what happens next is Hercules found the old man sleeping on the shore. So, as Hercules went by, he found this old man sleeping on the shore. He quietly moved towards him and held him onto him tight before he could react. So, as soon as Hercules saw this old man who was a very good navigator, he held on to him very, very tightly. All right. The old man woke up startled. Startled means very surprised, shocked, right? Who are you? He screamed. I am Hercules. I need your help to show me the way to the garden of the Hesperides. So the old man was startled, he was shocked, and he asked, who are you? And Hercules said that I'm Hercules. I just need a favor from you. I need you to show me the way to the garden of Hesperides. The old man struggled to get free. However, Hercules held on even tighter. The old man turned himself into a deer. He then turned into a kraken, which is a sea monster resembling a giant octopus. So, what happened as Hercules held him tight, the old man tried to trick him by changing his form. He turned himself into a deer. But then Hercules stick onto him tightly, all right. And then next he changed himself into a kraken. What is a kraken? A sea monster resembling a very, very giant octopus, looking like a very giant octopus. He tried to scare Hercules but failed every time. He tried to scare him, but then Hercules was so determined, he was very courageous. All right, so he could not scare him. Finally, the old man told him about the Hesperides, who were the goddesses of the evening. He said that the golden apples were in a garden on an island. So finally, he was very, very tired, fed up. So he said, okay, I'll tell you that the golden apples were actually on an island. To get to this island, Hercules would need to take the help of Antaeus, who was a short tempered man. Now, this old man said that you need to take the help of Antaeus, another character we see here. And then, who is Antaeus? Antaeus is a person who is very, very short tempered. Now, Hercules move on to his journey on the way to meet Antaeus, who can help him to go to the garden of Hesperides. Hercules thanked the old man. After some time, he met Antaeus. What do you want from me? Yelled Antaeus. I want you to show me the way to the garden of the Hesperides. How dare you? Antaeus was angry. He attacked Hercules. Hercules fought back. Now, what do we find here, students? That Hercules was ready for every other challenge. No, in our life also, whenever we face difficulties, what happened? We are tired, no, facing a difficulty, and again, if a new challenge comes, we just give up. But then here we can look. Hercules was so courageous, and he was so determined. No, he did not give up easily. He fought every other difficulty. Now, when he met Antaeus, he came to know that Antaeus was very, very short tempered, right? And Antaeus asked him, what do you want from me? He yelled at him. No? He shouted at him without any particular reason. And then he said that, I want you to tell me the way to the garden of the Hesperides. And then Antaeus got angry. What do you think? Who am I? And how dare you ask me this question? Okay. And then he attacked Hercules, and Hercules also he fought back, and then he put Antaeus high up in the air. So he put Antaeus high up in the air. Antaeus got scared. Please put me down. Now, what happened was that Antaeus got very, very scared and he said, please put me down. I will answer all your questions, he said. Don't worry, I'm going to answer all your questions. Antaeus told him that the garden of the Hesperides was guarded by a never sleeping 100-headed dragon named Ladon. So what did Antaeus told him? Antaeus told Hercules that the garden of the Hesperides was guarded. There was a guard. Okay, it was being guarded by a never sleeping 100-headed dragon named Ladon. So, as all of you have seen, some security guards are there, no, in educational institutions, in big flats, and all you people keep what security guards, no, for your personal home also some of them they keep a security guard just to be secure. But here the garden of the Hesperides was actually being guarded by a 100-headed never sleeping, that means the dragon was never sleeping, he never dozed off to sleep. And then the name of that dragon was Ladon. Only Atlas could enter the garden and take the golden apples. According to Roman mythology, it was believed that Atlas had been carrying the weight of the earth on his shoulders for over 1,000 years. No, what did Antaeus told him? That it is next to impossible. Right? He told him that it's next to impossible to get the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. Why? Because it has been guarded by 100-headed, never sleeping dragon named Ladon. And only Atlas could help you. Only Atlas can go to that garden and take those golden apples and give it to you. And who was Atlas? Atlas was a person who was carrying what? He was carrying the load of the earth on his shoulders for over 1,000 of years. Okay, it was believed that Atlas had been carrying the weight of the earth on his shoulders over 1,000 years. Now it is a mythological story. No, it may be true, it may not be true, so it is being passed on from one generation to another. So what happens next is Hercules knew that convincing Atlas would be next to impossible. So on his way, he thought of a plan. He also knew that Atlas hated carrying the earth on his shoulders. Now Hercules was thinking that how am I supposed to get help from Atlas? Now, if I tell him to go and bring the golden apples, I'm sure he will not agree. So, on his way to meet Atlas, Hercules came up with a good plan. And what was the plan? Let us read further. He came to know that Atlas hated carrying the load of the earth on his shoulders. Right there on the textbook, also on the screen, also you can see the picture of how Atlas was carrying the earth on his shoulders. When Hercules reached the garden, he said, I salute you, Atlas. You have been holding the earth for so long. So when Hercules reached the garden, he praised Atlas and he said that I really salute you because you have been carrying the load on your shoulders for about 1,000 years. You are doing an amazing job, right? I am so tired, exclaimed Atlas. So when Hercules praised him, what did Atlas said that I'm very, very tired. Why tired? Because he have been carrying the load of the earth on his shoulders. I can help you to ease the load for some time. You only have to get me 3 golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides, offered Hercules. So what did Hercules said then? I can actually give you rest for few time. It will ease your pain, tiredness. And he said that instead of that, you can simply get me 3 golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. Atlas agreed and brought back the golden apples for Hercules. He could do anything for some rest. You are great, Atlas. It is quite a tough task to hold the earth, said Hercules. So finally, at last, he wanted to get relief from the load of carrying the earth on his shoulders. So he said that, okay, I will go and bring those 3 golden apples for you by the time you carry my load. So Hercules carried the earth on his shoulders until and unless at last came back with the 3 golden apples. And after that, what did Hercules said that you are amazing, you are very, very great, because whatever job you are doing is next to impossible, and you should be applauded for that. When Hercules returned with the 3 golden apples, the king was shocked and nearly fainted. Remember, students, it was the king. What was the name of the king? Eurystheus, right? It was his trick to send Hercules to the task of getting the 3 golden apples so that he would be a loser, he would be unsuccessful in his voyage, and then all the people would regard him as king. They would love him as a hero. But then now the whatever trick he had played, it was just the opposite. Why? Because now Hercules was successful in his task and he got the 3 golden apples to the king. And now the people loved him much more and they respected him, they regarded him as their hero. The king was shocked and nearly fainted when Hercules returned with the 3 golden apples. So, when Hercules came back with the 3 golden apples, the king was really, really shocked and then he nearly fainted. So, with that, we come to the end of the story, students. So, this story really gives us motivation that we should be determined, we should be very hardworking in our life, and above, we should possess courage, right? Determination in our life so that to achieve our goal. And we should never ever give up. Come whatever difficulties, the task which we have taken up on us, we need to just look on that aim and then pursue our aim. We should keep on working hard, and whatever difficulties, we should never run away. We should face the difficulties, and whenever we face it, we come out successful. So with that, we come to the end of today's class, students. I hope you like the story. And then there are many other series of this Hercules, right? This is just a topic on Hercules and the golden apple. There are many other portions of the series. You can also have a look on those. You can read it as well. And in our next class, we'll try to just summarize the lesson and also discuss on few question answers from this text. So till then, students, take care. Bye bye. I shall see you all in my next class.